Name something a doctor might pull out of a person. Darcy.
A gerbil.
Just like that first answer. Oh, no question. Bam! Gerbil. Hey, over here. Gerbil. Gerbil. Name something a doctor might pull out of a person. Bam! Gerbil. Gerbil.
Welcome to another episode of the Brand X Podcast, episode 53. There you go. And if you wonder why we played the gerbil thing, then go back to episode 50. We had a lot of fun with the whole gerbling topic. I'm John, one of your co-hosts. Alongside me is Deuce.
Hey!
Como esta, bitches?
And Joe is here.
Tally-ho.
And look, Facebook is filling up. We have Emily here.
Hey, Emily. How
And
doing?
you know what we're going to do since I'm here? Did I do where did I put that? Did I put it in Facebook? Yes, I put it in Facebook. Give me just 1 second here. As John feverishly tries to figure out something because he's a big sieve head. We actually have, how we do our stuff because of Joe, is we have a secret Facebook group. And me and Deuce, we have other stuff we use, but Joe doesn't do that. So Emily, and I was shocked that she asked us. Okay, you can shut that off at any time. Anytime you can shut that off. So Emily asked us to do 3 jokes. All right, because her podcast, The Story Behind, they're going to do it with bubblegum. And now here's the thing, and I'm sure Deuce, you'll know this. I don't remember this. Was when you got Bazooka bubblegum.
It had a comic strip in it.
Was there jokes on there too, or was the comic strip the joke?
The comic strip was the joke.
That was the joke. And
a little fortune right
Yeah.
after the
Okay.
comic strip.
and you would break your teeth on rock hard bazooka.
Yeah, you'd have to
Bazooka joke.
Unless it was 95 degrees out in the store was hot, then you got...
and got a little bit of relief. All right, so we have to do 3 jokes. All right. Do you want to do each one of us do a joke, or why don't we do that?
Are we doing it now here on the
Let's
freeway?
do it right now. Let's right here on the freeway. Let's do it now.
Where are these jokes?
Okay.
Where are these jokes?
I got one, but
Where are these jokes? All right, give me a second here. Go back to Trillo. Oh, the fucking music.
Okay.
I'll tell you,
Why don't we do this after the show?
because I'm in the middle of it now. I can't bail out now. I'm in it now. All right, do you see the thing
Emily's
at the very...
watching, you can't...
Yeah, Emily's watching. You
We're
see the
on the
thing at the very
spot.
bottom, at the Emily one, at the very bottom? See the little in Trello?
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're just standing there staring at your screen. I don't know whether you found it or not. Phew. This is going over well. So anyhow, we have to do 3 jokes. So pick one. Which one do you want to do?
Let's see. Do.
There's a Santa Claus joke. There's men who live under the bridge joke. And why isn't your nose 12 inches long joke? Which one do you want to do?
I don't care.
Where are they? Where am I supposed to be looking?
All right, at the bottom.
Go to Trello, go all the way to the bottom.
and
This
see
is
an
why
Emily.
we should do
Yes,
this
I
after
see
the show.
Emily.
I just
Okay,
want to
there
show
we go.
that.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
So see the 3 jokes there? If
Yeah.
you go down, there's one that says, what does Santa Claus say when he works in his garden? Then the other one. So, okay, I will pick one, and you two pick the other one. I will say, why is your nose 12?
I'll do the second one.
All right. And then, Joe, you'll do the first one, which is, what does Santa Claus say?
What does Santa Claus say when he works in the garden?
I don't know, Joe.
He says, ho, ho, ho.
All right, that's one.
Okay.
What do little men who live under bridges eat?
I have no idea.
Troll house cookies.
Why isn't your nose 12 inches long?
Because I'm not Tom and Steve.
Wow, you're really endowing Tom and Steve there, aren't you? Okay.
All right. Can we start again?
Okay,
Sure, why
try
not?
it again.
When I saw that joke, that's why I said, I'll do the second one because I wanted to butt in with that.
Okay. Why isn't your nose 12 inches long? Don't anybody help me out here?
I just answered.
Jesus.
You just answered. You're doing a dramatic
All right, let me try it
effect.
again.
Take 3.
Dramatic effect. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Need drama.
Why isn't your nose 12 inches long?
I don't know. Why isn't your nose 12 inches long?
Because then it would be a foot.
Somehow I need to hear a laugh track after these jokes.
How about that? That work?
I feel like I'm bombing.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll actually do these again afterwards in case we might do these again afterwards. But at least if I forget, we have them down now.
I would remind you.
Right.
I got a good engineering joke.
No, we're done with the jokes.
Okay.
There'll be no more jokes.
There'll be no more jokes on this podcast.
Okay.
So anyhow, if you guys would do us a favor, if you would be so nice, we want you to do us a little solid. If you could go to Facebook and in that little top bar there, the search bar, not at the very top, in the blue part of Facebook, and just type in Brand X Podcast, and it'll take you to our Brand X Podcast page. And if you can go like a little down to the left, and there's a thing that says like, how about liking our Brand X Podcast page? That would help us out, and then you could catch some of the stories that we throw in there during the week.
I won't feel so rejected.
We won't feel so rejected. We'll feel like a somebody.
Yeah.
And we can also tell you when the shows are when we're going to be recording live. So we would appreciate if you would do that for us.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. All right. Now, I kind of come to the realization, guys, that I'm going to have to be kinder and gentler on social media.
You?
Yeah, I know. It goes against
Someone
my
got
brain.
in trouble again?
No, actually,
Twitter jail?
When you start with actually, you got in trouble again.
a little bit. Not, there wasn't a banding. There wasn't bars across my profile
No
picture.
pitchforks or torches?
Nothing.
Did this have anything to do with a fellow podcaster?
Matter of fact, it did.
Okay.
It did. So, I'm a big fan of the Ped and Meller show. And I was listening to the show, and they were doing their shout outs, and they're like, oh, we're not going to shout out that show anymore. And then I was like, well, what's that all about? So what happened was they said, well, no one listens to them, so we're not going to shout them out. So of course I was like, I wonder who that is. So I looked them up and I found them and I went, I love the Ped and Meller show. I listen all the time. For me, that is very mild. I was just letting them know that they have listeners, right? So then finally, the guy's like, does anybody know what this is on? The guy he replies back, the guy who I sent it to, which I don't even know who he is. He says, anybody know what this is all about? So then I got a private message from Matt Meller. John, you don't have to, just leave him alone. Don't
poke the snake.
Don't bother him. Don't, we appreciate it. We do, but leave him alone. So they talked about it on their show.
So hello, American listeners. Yeah, it's like John from the Brand X has started listening. He's sticking up for us today.
He is,
needlessly.
Okay, he comes in wading, both gloves out. Come on, no one fucks with Ped and Meller. He was in our corner.
He is. He's got our back.
He's a cool guy.
So yeah, we won't.
So anyhow, they kind of got not scolded, but I got a talking to, and I figured maybe, just maybe, I should kind of calm down a little bit. I don't know.
Here, take this Prozac.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't feel that I guess I'm just trying to be
It's
myself.
like Yosemite Sam sitting back there, folks.
Yeah. I just feel that maybe I should just cool it for a little while. Let's not jump. Every week it seems like I'm in trouble.
And you always say this, and a week
get in
later
trouble.
we'll be sitting around here at the round table, and
I got in trouble on
here's what happened.
Facebook again. No, it's usually Twitter that gets me in trouble. I don't really get into Facebook trouble that much. I'm more respectable on Facebook. For some reason, Twitter to me is just like, it's like being at a bar, on a Friday night, and you're just kind of drinking, having loose. There's not that much going on, and you're having a good time.
Let me roll this hand grenade in there.
Yeah.
Let me jump in there. I guess it's because people, maybe it's the other thing is that people are so triggered, or they get, they go off the deep end so easily.
Well, I think there's more anonymity on Twitter more so than on Facebook, that people
That's true.
get a little bit nastier.
Yeah, because you don't have to be in Facebook. You have to be yourself. LinkedIn, you have to be yourself. Well, that's a business site too. Twitter, I have
72 accounts.
It's not 72, but I have 5. I have 5 accounts that I can be. You know, the other thing I was thinking about doing, instead of taking and putting up the audio with the picture of us in, on YouTube, why not just take this recording, rip it, take it and save it, and then put that on YouTube so they can see us, not just see the picture of the gerbil and the...
Didn't I suggest this a few weeks ago?
Who listens to you?
Yeah, nobody.
I was thinking to myself,
Joe, you don't know what he's talking about.
I thought that this sounded familiar to us. I think this was broached
Well,
before.
Joe, you know what? That's a fantastic idea.
Okay, there we go.
I'm glad you thought of it first. And I'm glad it took me several weeks to figure it out.
John had to ruminate on it.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I'm just sitting there looking at it, and I'm thinking, if we go to YouTube, why wouldn't we put our video there? That would be stupid.
But if you have a freezing issue like we're having now, wouldn't that...
Good question.
Because then you would have to watch the entire video.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that's not happening.
Yeah, but if you're recording off of that, let's say we don't go on. Well,
That's a separate recording.
I'm not freezing here.
no.
It's
So,
an internet
yeah,
issue with Facebook.
Right. So you don't have we could do it. It'll come out. It'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, and
If the freezing issue isn't here, then we're good for YouTube.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm all about that. So anything happened last week in the news? Any kind of
Beheadings or simulated beheadings? And
well, when we signed off, at just the very end of the show, you said something about Kathy Griffin. I had not seen the photograph yet.
yeah, well, it was just getting
It was just
blowing
starting.
up. Yeah, it was just blowing up.
And while we were recording, it was that terrorist attack.
Yes.
Because I got home and Diane, isn't it awful? I'm like, is it what awful? What are you talking about?
Yeah, the world could end, and we're down here doing a podcast, and we wouldn't even...
Yeah, and then that's when I found out about it. Like, well, we were pretty much sequestered in John's dungeon. So.
Well, I'm really glad they're getting rid of all those guns, because now that stopped all this terrorism. Nobody's getting killed, because thank goodness the UK has done away with guns. Not the police, not all of them, but a lot of them aren't even carrying guns.
Yeah.
They carry the nightsticks or whatever.
Right.
I don't know enough about it to know enough about it.
Not pretty well against a machete, but
Exactly. So, and even if you did have a gun, it's pretty hard to take down a car. Now they're running people down with cars.
Yeah.
So we're going to do away with everybody's car?
Yep.
Is that what we're doing next?
Yeah. I got to give it to the terrorists, because they know our absurdities are what's going to kill us. We're going to, we'll make them ban everything. We'll make them run in circles, trying to ban this, trying to ban that, instead of facing the fact that we're killing you.
Right. That's exactly what
And that's why they're going to win.
Yeah.
They're going to win. Well, they're not going to win against me.
Well,
You
I'll
have
have
guns? No.
I have weapons.
Well, so here's my thing about this whole incident.
Here's John's thing.
Here's my thing about this whole incident over there. It is horrible that this is all happening, and it's happening in Britain. They're really picking on Britain. I mean, they've had 3 terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
My cousin Eddie's there now. He's a big fan.
Oh,
Eddie went to England to go see the soccer game there.
Stay
And
safe,
then
Eddie.
this happened.
Yeah.
Stay away from anybody with a large coat that's sizable.
Well, Eddie's pretty dangerous on his own, so.
Okay. But so what I was thinking is that there's 3 types of people in the world. Okay. There's wolves, there's sheep.
And then there's sheepdogs like me.
Sheepdogs. Right.
I'm
So,
very familiar with this analogy.
American
Exactly.
Sniper. You've seen it.
Is that where it's from?
Yeah.
I don't know where I heard it
That's
from.
an old analogy. It's even
Well, it
I've
goes
been
before that.
said
Okay.
it's been around forever.
And what happens now is the sheep are trying to make the sheepdogs sheep.
Yeah.
And that's not right. We should be allowed to be sheepdogs. We're not trying to make them sheepdogs. We're not saying, hey, listen, you have to carry a weapon to protect yourself. You want to be a sheep? Be a sheep.
Mm.
But us sheepdogs, we'd like to be able to be a sheepdog.
I want
And
to confront
stop.
the wolf.
Yeah, I want to be able to confront the wolf. I'm not going to run away from the wolf, but I want to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be, here's the other thing, which I'm about ready to throw up a little bit in my mouth. If it doesn't make a case for what Trump's saying about this vetting of people before they come in here, I don't know what does.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm not saying they're not in here already, and I'm not saying that they couldn't do something in here already, but why bring them in? There was a little thing way back in the day called the Trojan horse, where they said, here, have this horse. And they had all these bad guys inside the horse.
Well,
and they pushed it in.
These little...
And then the bad guys jumped out, and there was a Donnybrook. Well, let's stop the Trojan horse from coming into the country.
Yeah, well, these little anecdotes you're using, they fall on deaf ears. Kids today, they don't even know what a fucking Trojan horse is, you know, except aside from the, the virus on the internet. Like, that's all they know. They don't know what it is, you know? And they're taught not to know, to look away.
Right. Run away! Run away!
Run away!
Wonder how confusing if we ran away more.
Right. So, and then there's, well, you can't run away. You know, they've got you trapped, and there's nothing you can do. So, unfortunately, again, they had 3 people. From what I understand from the news that I heard, there was 3 people. They used a car. They jumped out of the car, and they started stabbing people. And it took the police 8 minutes to get... 8 minutes, yeah. So that's not bad.
No,
that's really good response time, and we were able to neutralize the problem, which was good. The thing that I had, that I'm thinking of, is if somebody was over there, if there was a sheepdog there, it wouldn't have
gone that long.
Yeah, that 8 minutes is the longest 8 minutes of anybody's life when you're waiting for help.
Remember they tried that shit at that art show down in Texas?
No, I missed that one.
Oh yeah. There was a Draw Muhammad contest, and as we know, that's very offensive. So
I'm sure it is.
The terrorists showed up at this thing with guns,
right?
And they did manage to kill a security guard, but no one else was killed, and they were killed by the people at the event because the people at the event
because they were armed. Yeah,
they were armed
in Texas. You're allowed to, open carry.
Imagine if everybody was like you said, a sheep walking
not necessarily
around.
Open carry. There's concealed carry.
There's concealed carry.
And open carry is when you have it visible, like a police officer. Some states do have open carry. I'm not sure if Texas is one of them, but they are a big concealed carry state.
Okay.
Because 42 states are. It's unfortunately this asshat state isn't. So.
Isn't there a time that we're allowed to start, protecting ourselves? Are we supposed to how absurd is this? Okay, so a lady goes into the supermarket and she picks up the last bag of string cheese just before this other lady goes to get a bag of string cheese. So the lady goes over to the next aisle and picks up a mop and walks back and starts tuning this lady up. I mean, just beating the shit out of this lady. No, I'm just saying this is a scenario, right?
Wow, I was going to say, what did this happen
So now I'm making a scenario. So this is how stupid this is. So the lady's in there. She picks the last bag of string cheese. The other lady walks over, grabs a mop, and she just starts beating it. Now, is this lady allowed to defend herself, or does she have to wait for somebody?
She has to wait. The right thing to do.
Meanwhile, she's taking a good ass whooping.
Right.
And nobody's there. I mean, nobody's coming, or the manager's coming, or they're not coming, or they got to call the cops, and the cops will be there in 15 minutes. Yeah. I feel that we have a human right to defend ourselves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, in that scenario that you described, you are allowed to defend yourself.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
But while she's doing this, we're not allowed to come in and just, then you get in trouble for that. Not because you're not allowed to defend yourself. It's because you had this to defend yourself. I guess you could try to get to the other aisle, pick up your own mop, and then the two of you could be like, I don't know. But or just give her the string cheese, one or the other.
That must be some pretty good string cheese.
Hey,
I don't know if I would put up such a struggle for that. Last box of Captain Crunch, completely different situation.
Exactly.
Got to have my sugar.
Oh, boy. But I don't know. Look, I don't know who I hate more. The terrorist who holds a sword to my neck, or the Western politician who helps him by tying my hands behind my back. Go ahead. It's just...
That's true.
I think Europe's big problem is not the terrorists. It's the people who let them in. To me, it's criminal negligence. If I create the conditions whereby a big accident can happen, knowing that it could happen, I can be sued for criminal negligence. I can be put in jail and all that. These people, no.
It's okay.
We got it. When people start holding these people accountable, they let them in. They willingly let them in, knowing that these people are no good. They turn the no. It's you who are making them do this. Your bigotry is forcing them to. I don't understand the reasoning behind it, but that's what appears to me to be going on.
Well, it's happening in England right now. It was happening in France
and Germany
and
Italy.
So it's working its way across. And if this isn't a reason to revisit this whole, not a band, where they have to be vetted.
Did you say band?
Band. He said band.
Ban. I say band?
Yes.
A ban, not a band.
It never was a ban.
Whatever it is, where they can take and vet these people before they can come in. And I mean vet them, because this is nonsense. And then the other thing is, I feel like we should be able to defend ourselves. I want to be able to carry my little 6-shooter 410 pistol thing. And then, somebody
pistol
comes
thing.
in. Yeah, my pistol thing.
Because that's what they call it in the Smith & Wesson catalog.
Yeah, the pistol thing. That's what I want. I want my pistol thing.
The thingamajig. The who's
exactly.
The what?
I want that. That's what I want.
Finish him.
Okay, I see somebody needs to be turned down just a smidgen.
Nah, that's just that particular board,
okay.
probably.
So anyhow, here's the other thing that cracked me up. All right. So I can't believe I'm defending this guy, but I am, because here's the thing. When he does something good, I got to say, okay, you do something good. Then when you go and sit on the toilet and tweet, then you lose me. All right. So then President Trump decides to pull out of that stupid
the Paris
Accord. Okay. And everybody loses their mind. They're like, oh, that's it. He hates the world. He's just done. He's actually just killed the whole planet.
What do we say to our grandchildren? I like that one. That's always my favorite.
Okay, but here's my thing. My point exactly is that you might as well take that Paris Climate Agreement into the bathroom and wipe your ass with it, because that's about as good as it is. All
and
right?
that was the consensus on it 2 years ago when
the feckless wonder
when they joined it.
Yeah.
Right. So in other words, and this is what I can't stand. All right, we have an issue. We have to make a rule. All right, we make a rule. Will that rule fix the issue? Nope. But we made a rule. Okay. And this is exactly what they did. This thing it was ridiculous. We would have had to spend money to other countries, and they would have taken that money. It was voluntary whether they did anything or not.
No, they didn't have to. Yeah, there's no.
This is ridiculous.
Basically,
it did
no
nothing.
strings. Yeah.
It did nothing. So he pulled out of it, and I'm like, okay, I understand that. That makes sense. Why are we picking up the check all the time for all this nonsense? Why us?
Same deal with NATO. What they say, you guys got to ante up now, and everybody's pissed off at us.
I'm telling you, I heard, and this was a while back, and I don't know if this is where they're at with this. Is they're this close to being able to take the carbon that's in the atmosphere and be able to convert it into energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And once they do that, we'll be like, "Where's all the carbon at? We need some carbon in the air."
Years ago, when I was traveling on the road, my supervisor and I were staying in Pittsburgh, and there was some kind of convention out there, and we were in a restaurant that had a bar, and we were eating, and we got to talking to a couple of engineers out there that are pretty involved in that, and they told us then, he says, we were talking about energy because Katrina had just hit, gas was like almost $5 a gallon.
Oh yeah.
So it was like everyone was feeling the pain, and he says that's a non-issue. He says because we're so close to solving the energy problem that it won't even be an issue anymore. There's a couple of things going on, whether it's fusion, saltwater fuel, where you burn salt water off. There's so many things going. He says possibly within our lifetimes it'll be solved, but definitely in your children's lifetimes it will be solved, and it won't even be an issue.
Right, but I just think what goes on here now is that as soon as Trump does anything, everybody just loses their mind.
It's reactionary. It's not rational. It's reactional.
Is he not the Rodney Dangerfield of presidents? I mean, he gets no respect.
No respect.
But then again, he does stupid shit.
Well, he does.
He does stupid shit.
His problem to me has always been his big mouth. Yeah, just shut up.
Shut up and just be president.
Right.
When he went away and was overseas and wasn't on the Twitter every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Everything calmed down, and he looked presidential. Then he comes back, sits down, and starts tweeting again.
Yeah.
Where is that written in the Constitution, by the way?
What?
Somebody made an excellent point.
Which is?
Nowhere is it enumerated anywhere in documents that you will act presidential.
Don't you think you should?
But who made that term up?
No one. It's implied.
It's more of it's an ideal, really.
The press made that term up.
Oh, I understand it, but don't you understand?
I mean, some of the least looking presidential, because I'm a history student.
Your favorite president, Ronald Reagan, was very presidential. He acted like a president.
Now, if I can finish, where's your bell? A lot of the presidents in history, if you were to apply the press's modern day look presidential, that were great presidents or considered great presidents, were anything but. Like Andrew Jackson was
he was a prick.
Yeah, well, he was kind of like a buffoon also. They say Trump is a buffoon. Andrew Jackson was pretty buffoonish.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, Jimmy Carter beating that rabbit to death in the lake. I'm sure that was very presidential when he did that. Yeah. So, I mean, this term is just not really.
But you don't see the problem with him tweeting like this, and
I just wish.
How long has he been tweeting like this?
Since before he was president.
And this from the guy that can't stay off social media and not get in trouble?
I'm not the fucking president.
But see, you wouldn't change
I'm some
either.
dopey podcaster in my basement.
You wouldn't change either.
Of course I would change.
No, you wouldn't. You say that.
I would change.
I'm going to use your words. You say that, but you won't.
I would change.
In all honesty,
I would stop.
To be honest with you,
I would stop picking on Tom and Steve.
Bullshit.
I would stop picking on Tom and Steve. I wouldn't pick on
Rosie,
the guy that picked on Ped Meller anymore. Who else do I pick on?
I don't know.
I wouldn't pick on those guys from Who's Right. I don't pick on them anyhow.
What about dumbass?
Dumbass Luke. I'd still pick on dumbass.
He would be your Rosie O'Donnell.
No, he
would be.
Right? He would be my Kathy Griffin.
There you go.
So anyhow,
that's just the point I was making. There's no standard of who makes that determination.
You don't think that somebody. You don't think you should act a certain way as the president of the United States.
Yeah, I think you do.
What I think is irrelevant. It's just that the term have to act presidential. This is only something that entered the lexicon in the last 8 years.
Yeah, after Clinton, of course, because he was a presidential.
Yeah, that was very acting presidential. Closing down interns your daughter's age.
I just have to say this. That I didn't say one word when Deuce said what I think is irrelevant, because that is going to be on my soundboard next week.
Yeah. We'll see that, because that's what liberals do. They parse your words, take it out of context, and it lives on forever.
It's a joke, dumbass. It's what we do here. We make jokes.
Yeah, it's a joke, too.
It's a joke. I know. So I know, because I'm a liberal.
Context, people. Context.
So then I watched that shit show that was the Kathy Griffin.
That was a bizarre week.
Okay, so now, before I get into that, just with this one thing. So anyhow, so the president, he tweets out, 7 dead and 48 wounded in terror attack, and the mayor of London says there's no reason to be alarmed. Now, of course, he took this out of context, because the mayor said there's no reason to be alarmed because we have everybody in place and we've neutralized the threat. Okay, so that's what that was. And then J.K. Rowling, the lady that
Harry Potter, yeah, because
right.
She's such a wisdom.
Right. So she says, It's called leadership, Donald. The terrorists were dead 8 minutes after police got the call. If we need an alarmist, blowhard, we'll call.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, he just doesn't get. I mean, he gets no respect. Anybody just, and I guess it's the Twitter age. Anybody can pick up a phone with a Twitter account and tweet to the president.
Who's a raging lunatic?
Besides me?
On Trump. I mean, the dude is totally unhinged. Is George Takei, the homo from Star Trek.
Yes.
Sulu he used to be Mr. Sulu, but now he'll just be the homo from Star Trek. I mean, somehow, he had a mediocre C-actor career saying, I had warp factor 3, Captain. And that was basically it.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he came out on Howard.
And suddenly he's like a political genius. It's just I just couldn't take it no more. I just unfollowed him on Twitter.
I think he's pretty funny. Some of the shit he comes up with.
You don't have a Twitter account.
No,
but the thing is,
it pollutes the time stream.
It gets all over.
But this is why I say that I'm in the middle, because I can listen. I can look at George's tweet and not get annoyed by it. George Takei. Yes.
Takei. Rhymes with gay.
Chores decay, which rhymes with gay. Right. Yes, I can look at his tweet and see the funny in it. And then, someone from the right can make a joke, and I can see the funny in that. I don't get annoyed when one side makes a joke over the other side. I look at it as a joke.
He's not joking. He is a joke.
Okay.
But what he's doing is he's putting... he's making pronouncements out there as if they're fact, and that's the problem with Twitter as a whole, which is why I'm kind of like, Facebook isn't any different.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's just Facebook.
All social media is that way.
Yeah, we're streaming horribly, fellas.
The weird thing about that was she did this, then she apologized.
Oh.
And then a day later, she gets a lawyer, and she lawyers up, and now she's trying to paint herself as the villain.
That's what I don't understand.
Donald Trump as the villain.
Why do you need a lawyer to make an apology? That's stupid.
Well, she apologized first. Then a lawyer said, "Hey, we could turn it." Yeah, I know what they were doing. It looks as if she's trying to he broke me. Like, in other words, she got fired from CNN. She's a victim. I'm a victim. So now she's going to try to sue for some kind. It looks like she's trying to sue for some kind of monetary loss.
It looked like she was playing the victim card. Also,
obviously,
I like how she's
the one.
Facebook. She's the one who pisses. She pisses. Yeah, she pisses everybody off. And turns it around so that it's because he broke me and he's a bully. And she even got a chance to throw in, the quintessential devil of the left-wing religion, the white man. I've been fighting white males
all my life.
They went through right down the playbook. It was amazing.
Here's the problem with the whole white male, female feminism thing. This is the thing that goes up my ass like an open umbrella. All right. They want to be treated equally. Then you treat them equally. And then they go, these white men, I've had to fight this my whole career. Well, guess what? White men have to fight the white men our whole career. We're used to it because we've been doing it.
Well, shit, now we got to fight everybody for anything.
Right. So now, if you're a feminist, we're supposed to hold the door open for you and then do all this other stuff. And, and then you're supposed to have, if you want equal to be equal, let's be equal. Okay? Don't get all butthurt when you're treated like a guy, okay? That's the whole thing. You can't run out and be a victim.
Trying to pick and choose their equality.
Right. If you go out and play the victim card as a guy, what are you? You're a pussy, all right? You're a big pussy. That's the basic problem. And, I'll get in trouble for this, but I don't care because I'm done, all right? You want to be treated equal, we treated you equal. If any guy would have held up his head with doing the same thing, they would have got blasted again.
We'd still be hearing about it.
Right. And then here's the other thing. It's not as bad as she's making it out to be. Yes, the conservative people have lost their mind over this. They are sick. They think this is
actually it's more than just conservatives.
No, everybody went over to.
I don't think so. I think there's enough people.
Anderson Cooper to defend her.
Oh, okay. Well, you know why? Because he can't. Because he ain't losing his job. He doesn't work just one day a year.
He didn't have to say anything at all.
Well, he came out. So now what he's doing.
He didn't have to say anything at all.
I know he didn't have to. Well, sure he had to say something because he does that New Year's Eve thing with them, and everybody's saying, well,
he didn't have to say anything at all.
He had to say something. He had to make a statement.
No, he didn't.
Why would he not have to make a statement?
You just sit it out.
You can't just sit something like that out, especially if you're part of the press. One of the things about the press is they ask questions.
And you can say no comment.
And if you don't answer the question, they give you a bunch of crap about it. So he would be hypocritical not to make a statement. They wouldn't turn on him
because he's part of the problem. He could say no comment and everyone would have left him alone.
Well, what did he do? He left her like a rat on a sinking ship.
He should have. What she did was wrong.
Listen, I hear you.
And it's not just people on the right that are upset about it. There's a lot of people in the so-called middle like you.
Don't think that there's a bunch of people that are on the right-hand side that think that that's hysterical and they think that that's funny.
So, look, there's somebody somewhere who thinks it's
sure they do.
When somebody gets their comeuppance.
Well, listen, you have free speech.
And she was on Trump's show. And she was seen with Trump's at other fundraisers.
That's right. She was part of The Apprentice. So
don't tell me.
I completely forgot about. I didn't know what he's talking about. I'm just saying. I forgot that she was part of the. Yeah. Okay, so why would she do something like? It's the stupidest thing.
Because she got caught.
She got caught. She
didn't think that her own kind would turn on her. She thought, well, I'll probably upset the conservatives and the Republicans, but she had no idea that she.
But didn't she think?
Why was it like?
No, she didn't. That's the whole problem.
No, there's no.
Well, Tucker Carlson made a brilliant dissertation on that. He says, I'm sure there was like 5 or 6 people telling her, yeah, Kathy, it's a great idea. Go for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, you think about it at this photo shoot, she has a manager, she has an agent, a manager.
Nobody.
Nobody said, hey,
that's not such a great idea.
People might take this the wrong way. That's why I don't shed a tear for her. I think
I never liked her anyway.
She's not that good. She was a
D-list celebrity.
Yeah, she's not that good of a comedian, to be quite honest with you.
No,
but I don't think this. I mean, listen, she's going to have to ride it out. It's going to cost her some money up front, right now.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? And that's the only thing she's crying about.
She'll still sell out. She'll still have her crowd.
In fact, she's there's going to be people following her all over the place now just for that reason. We're behind you, Kathy. We applaud us. Now, my feeling on this is, okay, remember the woman in Oklahoma who got beheaded by the crazy Muslim terrorist?
Which one?
That one I missed.
You missed
in
that?
the post office.
I didn't even hear about this.
This was
a couple of years ago.
No, it was about last summer. It wasn't even that. You didn't hear that?
I'll search it up. Go ahead.
See, this is our media. They don't, But that,
well,
now,
it's not your. It's my media.
You get that, or you get Jim Foley, the reporter who got beheaded. How'd you like to be their parents now? And you see this picture of Kathy Griffin doing this.
Holding
okay,
the head, right?
Isn't that kind of like to them? Wouldn't that be? Can that be construed?
Of course.
I'm asking you. Couldn't that be construed as an endorsement of?
Of course,
Islamic
it could.
terrorism?
It could be a lot of things.
Now they're saying, "Oh, now come on, you're being silly and absurd." Am I really?
No, it could be a lot of things.
Yeah. I'm not talking about whether it is. I'm talking about if it can be perceived as such.
It happened in 2014.
Okay.
Told you it was a couple of years ago.
Well, I had no idea, and I can't believe that's not a bigger story.
Because
look who was president.
They covered it up.
They must have, because
they called it workplace violence.
Yeah, they said it was workplace violence.
Just like the Fort Hood shooter was workplace violence.
Right, and then also the San Bernardino.
That was also workplace violence.
Yeah. Oh, before we used to go postal. People would go postal. They would go postal. Now they're going Muslim. So I don't know. But I'm just saying that, this whole thing with her is it'll blow over. I mean, yes, she
should have apologized. It lay low and wrote it out.
She did apologize.
No, but then she did the press conference.
Then she doubled down with that stupid lawyer.
As soon as she did the press conference, that nullified the apology.
Okay. So John was busy. John pulled some clips.
Cousin Eddie's on.
Hey,
Eddie.
Live from London or England, somewhere over there.
Where you at, Eddie?
Must be like 1 or 2 in the morning there.
Yeah. It's like
5 hours ahead.
Right.
So, yeah, it's coming up. It's after midnight.
All right. So anyhow, she goes and gets this big, giant twat of a lawyer, celebrity lawyer, who comes out and sounds like the dumbest person I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't know how much Kathy Griffin is paying this woman, but it's way too much. Here's what she says.
Kathy did not forget that disgusting remark for which Trump has never apologized. Kathy,
who's she supposed to apologize to? Who is Trump supposed to apologize? Is he supposed to apologize to every woman for saying that, or just apologize for saying it?
I believe he did apologize after that video came out, but that doesn't matter. He had a press conference and he said it was locker room talk.
Yeah, it's a bunch of shit.
Kathy
did not forget. All right, so let me just run this a little bit because I instead of hitting pause, I hit stop, so I had to start it over again.
Kathy teamed up recently with a photographer to mock Trump, our mocker-in-chief. What would it look like?
Mocker-in-chief. Okay, so now she's doing stand-up. Now the lawyer's doing stand-up.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all for laughs.
All right, here we go.
If his own insults were turned on him, wearing a pussy bow blouse in a nod to his caught-on-tape bragging about grabbing women's genitals, she held up a Trump mask with fake blood coming out of the eyes and coming out of the wherever in full hyperbole with a stern look on her face.
All right. So, I mean, now we're doing stand-up over there.
Yeah. Well, that's so if it goes against her, she could say, hey, I'm a comedian. Just like
she's not a comedian. She's a lawyer.
But that's what they say. That's their new thing. On. Yeah, that's what they do now.
And then Kathy's there. And I'm sitting there watching this press conference, and the whole disturbing thing is Kathy's there, the lawyer's there, they got the camera shooting. There's some guy behind her, some reporter, who's like all disheveled or whatever. He's sitting there.
Oh, the guy with the glasses.
Yeah, the glasses, and he's on his phone. I'm like
a stenographer.
Yeah, move him. Can we move this guy out of the shot, please?
It's pretty distracting.
The whole time, I couldn't even pay attention to what's going on here because the guy in the background with the glasses and the phone and a notebook, he's in there doing, and he's like looking up and down. He's looking through his glasses and stuff. It just ruined the whole press conference for me, to be quite honest with you. So then Kathy comes out, and after she gets done, she starts on him again. She starts on Trump
she's
again.
Not done. Yeah, she can't help herself.
I guess. It's like me and dumbass Luke.
Yeah, can't help yourself.
I can't help myself.
Can't help himself.
I can't help myself.
Now, what the hell did he have to do with Kathy Griffin? See, you can't help yourself.
I can't help
you
myself.
Just segued right in.
I segued right in there.
John, you want some vegetables? Dumbass Luke.
Hey, Tom and Steve show. Just same thing.
Okay, Karen's on. She says hello. She plugged us on her Friday night show.
Como esta,
I like that.
Karen? Yeah,
Thank
I was
you.
listening on Friday night.
And of course, she does radiocastfm.com
On Friday night.
7
Friday
to
nights.
midnight, I believe.
7 to midnight.
There you go. So, whoa, I just lost Trillo.
That's
We're having
okay.
Just a cacophony of technical difficulties tonight in the BXP studios.
Whatchamacallit Mercury must be in retrograde. You ever hear that nonsense?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Did you know that Jason made another rap because
I heard it.
the Hush Your Face network
It's growing.
is growing, and we're not 6 pods anymore.
And
we're 8.
And he did slip that other W in it.
He did put the other WWW.
He was catching a lot of hell for that.
Hush Your Face is coming straight to your ears. A podcast network that's changing gears, bringing fresh, funky pods with a fresh, funky beat. A family of pods that are bringing the heat. There ain't no stopping us. Keep coming back to us. Sick-ass pods that'll make you hush. www. Hush Your Face. www. Hush Your Face. www.hushyourface.com.
Jason, as I said before, he's just a house on fire when he writes those jingles and the
I like
songs
it.
and-
Daniel laments.
he just-
I'm chopped liver up in here, apparently.
No, Daniel Repples.
Yeah.
Laments.
Laments.
Oh, Daniel's here?
Yeah,
Daniel
he's
Ripple.
here.
Ah, hey,
Yeah,
Daniel.
He's
how you
not
doing?
chopped liver. We love Daniel.
We got, Oh, you know what? Okay, you know what? Because, Karen came on
Right.
and we didn't effectively plug for
we
Daniel.
Didn't, we didn't get through. I was going to.
I didn't know
get
Daniel was here.
Yeah, Daniel's here.
Daniel's almost always on Facebook.
He kind of
with us.
hangs with us,
Yeah.
which we appreciate that.
And Larry's on.
No way.
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
the thing.
Here's the thing. We're doing show. It's 105 degrees over there, he's saying.
We don't care.
No, we don't care.
Hey, Lar, it's only 72 here.
If you
Nice.
move into a desert, you have no
Here's
right
the
to
thing.
bitch about the heat.
Here's the thing.
It's only 80 degrees. It's like 65 here. It's not that big of a deal.
It is a little balmy down here, I must say.
It's a little
Last
warm.
week we were freezing. Well, I was freezing.
You were freezing.
Yeah, that was cold.
It's going to be a problem in the summer. I'm going to have to get some kind of air conditioner in here.
Right.
Which means, because I can't have it running while we're down here, because you'll hear it. So what I'm going to have to do is get it down to rock hard nipple cold.
Now, what you could do,
Okay, listening.
we call them R2D2s at work. They're the portable ones
yeah,
that stand up
noise,
on the floor.
No noise.
Mm-hmm.
Probably if you stuck it over in that back room there.
You still don't think we pick it up with
You
the mics?
would pick it up. It's an
They're-
EM.
They run pretty silently.
Yeah, but it's an electromagnetic. It'll pick up.
We can't try.
You can try it.
Oh, I'm
Hey,
gonna-
look, I played in rock bands. Whenever we had fans on stage to keep us cool, it was a pain in the ass. It
Because
got
Heat
in
and I are
everything.
like this. I
Right.
don't.
Well, I'm not a big fan of it either, because fat sweats. So, anyhow.
Anywho.
And then Deuce, look at Deuce. Deuce has got his BXP T-shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
I have my BXP
In the
T-shirt
correct
on.
colors.
What do you mean? Because I bought the black one instead of the blue
Well, it
one?
was designed to be on a blue background. I'm just
I
saying.
hear you.
But I also bought one in red.
Okay. Oh, look at you with your
Yeah,
liberal
he's
colors
wearing the
on.
blue. He's
Ah!
He's blue today.
It's designed to be like a Superman costume. So
Right. So now if you want to.
And I got
Yeah,
the
I
Queen
gotta
of
get
Dilly
mine.
Dally one in pink and purple because that's all she ever wears.
I got to get mine.
See? So now if you want to do that, all
I'm
you have to
only
do is
wearing
go
mine.
to, right. You can go to brandxpodcast.com/gear and pick out your T-shirt or
And
sweatshirt.
coffee mug.
And coffee mug.
And hoodie.
Now, Saturday.
I got the hoodie too.
Saturday was National Podcast T-shirt Day, not Teacher Day.
Teacher Day?
Podcast T-shirt Day.
Unfortunately, I had to work. Otherwise, I would have been rocking my BXP shirt.
So there was, if you went on Twitter, everybody was taking pictures, and Facebook too. Everybody was taking pictures of your wearing other podcast T-shirts. So if Deuce, I don't even have to ask you this. So if there was
Three's
another
comedy.
Deuce would get a Three's comedy.
In all kinds of colors too.
Yeah, see, you get in Three's comedy. I think I did get a bad cop. I'd
Oh
probably
yeah,
get a
I
Bold
would
Bruiser.
get quite a few. I get toe on the trigger if Daniel did.
Oh, now Daniel's here. You get a toe on the trigger.
No, I would.
Okay, just checking.
Any podcast I listen to, which is about 12, I would get. I would rock them.
Daniel's even. See you all later. Keep on rocking.
Okay.
Take care, Daniel. Have a good one.
You know what? Next time
we're going to have to give him a big plug.
Well, no. What we'll have to do is next time, if he wants to, I'll shoot him the phone number, and then he can call in.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. We could do that. We could have him call in.
Did you talk to Jason about that 1 hour phone rental thing?
No.
Because when they go live on Friday, they get a call-in number, but it's only good for that period of time.
Is it the same number all the time?
No, it changes, I believe.
See, I don't like that. Now,
you're looking to get a hard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the Who's Right podcast, they have a number, and it's like 9-something-9. It's like 9 and word 9, which is pretty cool. But you can't go live on their show. You can just call in for voicemail.
Right.
We could do that.
Yeah, I think this is something you'd have to talk to Jason.
Right.
Because it's something that.
Do we really want to start taking live calls on the air?
I don't want to do that.
I don't know. I mean,
that could be like.
Yeah, it could be bad.
Because then we'll have people calling in and asking us.
Well, when you're going live on Facebook, that could be an issue.
If you did it with a like a delay, buffer delay or whatever that is.
There is a delay. There's a minute delay on.
Well, that's not.
Yeah, but it'll still get
bail out of it.
That's not my issue. I don't care. If they. But what I don't want is like when someone calls and asks about a 19-inch. What do you think about the 19-inch flounder rule? I don't think about the 19-inch flounder rule. I don't want to be.
You can get tied down in the minutiae
of phone calls. I mean, I have a hard enough time getting a word in edgewise with you guys. Now I bring another call in here, I'll never talk.
Do what they do on talk radio. 30 seconds, you're off.
Well, I think they give you the 2 minute, and then you're in the middle of a statement, and then all of a sudden you hear,
I gotta go.
If you're on the phone, you hear,
well, not that would happen because there's no commercials here. In radio, they come up on commercial breaks, and the sponsor will be heard.
No, I understand that, but
so that's why they bail. I mean,
the Philadelphia Talk radio station here,
PHT, it's all 10,
94 WIS number. 94 WIP.
The sport talk. Okay,
sports talk.
Larry says
they have.
So does Skinny Sweat.
They have you have a 2 minute or 2 minute and 30 second
window
to be on a call. No more than that, because some people try to stay on and stay on and stay on, and who knows. All right, let's move on to some nonsense in the news. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right, I laughed. I belly laughed. I belly laughed when I saw this drug raid live story. You want to read this?
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Well, you put a lot of stuff in here.
Hey, listen, somebody's got to get his content. We might stall.
Where did it disappear to?
It's right there. It says drug raid live, right under the Kathy.
Do you want
Griffin
me to read it? Because I got it right here.
There we are. When you had rearranged everything, I appreciate that. Okay, here we go.
Not really.
No.
I was being facetious.
Well, I just wanted to get them in the story.
I know.
I put new stuff in.
Because I dumped it in late and it was at the bottom. Last time
I moved it up because it was a good story.
That's what I said. Oh, you bumped it up.
Right.
Okay.
I am the producer.
Yeah.
Okay, just saying.
You are the supreme overlord.
I am.
On Thursday, 22-year-old Jacksonville, Florida resident Breon Hollings thought it would be a good idea to go on Facebook Live to boast about the profits from his illegal drug selling business. In the video below, a shirtless Hollings, because that's relevant to the story, is seen babbling to the camera from inside of a bathroom while fanning out a large sum of money. You effing N-word need to catch up. We getting money over here, man, he tells his viewers, adding, we got so much of this shit, man, y'all know already the story.
Right.
As Action News Jax reports, things quickly turned sour for the young entrepreneur when he looked out of the window and suddenly ran out of the room. This is Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. We have a search warrant.
Well, actually,
can be heard in the video, followed by a series of loud noises. A police officer eventually walks into view of the camera. Officers are seen going in and out of the room before the video ends. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office said the raid was planned and the video did not lead to the raid. Officers found a handgun, crack cocaine, ammunition, oxycodone,
drug paraphernalia,
pills, and drug paraphernalia in the home. Hollings was arrested and charged with possession of a controlled substance, possession of cocaine, and possession of paraphernalia for the manufacture delivery of the drugs. Doesn't say anything about the gun. I guess he may have owned that legally. I don't know.
Right.
Everything else was okay.
Yeah.
So you ready? Here we go.
I'm on my white boy Tyler shit, man. I already know, man.
Yeah.
Fuck niggas catch up, man. You fuck niggas catch up, man. We getting money over here, man. We got so much of this shit called money. We getting money over here, man. Y'all already know the story, man. We the guys, man. RP little bro, man. Hey, that boy Tyler, you fucking cutting up on my shit. Y'all already know the story, man. Get you some money now, you gonna forever be broke out here, man.
It's like another language.
You gonna forever be broke out here, man. Straight up, man. You fuck these catch up, man. You fuck these catch up, man. This shit don't stop, man. This shit don't stop, man. Hold on, man. Hold on.
All right, so he leaves the room because he goes to get more money. He wants to get more money because the shit don't stop. But the problem is,
neither does the law.
The shit's about to stop.
This shit don't stop, man. We got we know this shit, man. This shit don't stop, man. Shit don't stop, man. It's the first of the month.
Uh-oh.
I love the look on his face.
Whoops.
Oh, man. Shit don't stop, man. Shit don't stop, man. Shit don't stop.
Whoops.
What?
Samuel F. Jackson assisting in the arrest.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
But some women have penises.
You can't handle the truth.
Thus endeth the entrepreneurial spirit of Breon Hollings.
Yeah, oh well, so much for him.
So I guess he'll be doing, I don't know, 5 to 10 maybe.
Even if he didn't get caught at that time, I mean, like, we're raising stupider. Thank God. The criminals are stupider and stupider because they're figuring out, I'm going to do this and I'm going to broadcast live.
So, yeah, so he's sitting there broadcasting live, and all of a sudden some guy's sitting there going, man, you see this? Look at all the money Breon's got. Got to go over there and get me some of that.
Yeah.
We got to get some ketchup.
Yeah, even if the raid didn't come, one of his friends would help relieve him of that.
Exactly.
Because after all, there is a code of honor among criminals.
Right, you know, the next thing you know, it'd be a knock on the door, and this would be, I'd be like... Exactly.
Oh, boy.
Not the smartest
no
guy in the class.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed, I'll tell you that right now.
Brightest bulb in the box.
Nope.
The elevator doesn't go to the top floor.
No. Now, I saw this next story, and I'm thinking to myself, this is why we can't have drugs. And, of course, I wished with all my might that I would have actually pulled this story, because I have a feeling, there's no. I thought this was going to be a video
commercial popping up. Yeah, they're always fun.
A teenager cuts off his own penis and stabs his mother with a knife during a psychotic episode brought on by a potent form of cannabis called skunk. The father of the teenager said the drug triggered a psychotic episode and is sharing his story in an effort to spread awareness about skunk. As it's called in the United Kingdom, skunk. The identified man said his son started smoking marijuana when he was just 16, but switched to skunk.
What is skunk?
It's a more powerful form of cannabis.
So, okay, that's all.
It's not like the skunk we knew when we were...
Well, no, I mean, I know everything has...
skunk weed.
Yeah.
So, out of boredom, and soon he became paranoid, and the father said that the drug turned his son into who was a rugby player, and a bright, bubbly lad into a waste of space. He became delusional. He stopped sleeping. He would bring a tennis racket to his bed because he thought people were living in the walls.
Do they play tennis?
Yeah, right?
You never know when a Wimbledon match might break out in the middle of the night. At least he's prepared.
It all culminated when the teen's mother had landed him in a mental institute for 6 months. Oh, wait a minute.
Say that one more time.
Jesus. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to skip over the nonsense where his father told BBC Radio 5 Live. I remember one instance he was telling us all about the fact that mermaids exist, and it was just a whole tragic trip down a hill. Culminated in a psychotic episode that hospitalized the teen's mother, landed him in a mental institute for 6 months, in prison for 2 years. The father described a normal day and evening, but said his son woke up in the middle of the night, attacked and stabbed his mother, and cut off his own penis. I'm thinking to myself, when this kid comes out of this, when he comes off the skunk, he's going to be like, now what? What the hell?
What am I going to do with this?
Or the lack thereof.
Yeah, well, so he performed his own lop it off of me.
Yes. And now he's got to sit down to pee. I mean,
well, he could stand up. Or just be like a sprinkler.
Yeah, it's going to be a shower head, you know?
Yeah, none of that. Well, I guess they were having stuff, the same thing over here when they were doing that. What was that stuff called where they started eating their own face? It was in Florida.
Crystal
bath salts or whatever. Bath salts, yeah.
I mean, I understand it. Every once in a while, you want to try to get high, get away from things, but holy cow. I mean, how fucked up do you got to get?
Yeah, because you don't know what they're putting in that stuff when they cut it.
I'm always curious as to how these people say, hey, I got a bath salts. Wonder what would happen.
Yeah. What if I take...
Yeah, so it's like man's quest for knowledge kind of a thing, you know?
Right. Who the fuck thought of doing this?
They're standing there in lab coats and beakers and like, oh, and then the next thing you know, they're raging lunatics.
If I take this chemical, if I take Roundup and spray it on marijuana and then let it dry and smoke it, I wonder what that'll do to me.
This might deliver a hell of a punch.
Yeah. This probably be a little bit more of a mellow high.
You would think that drug use would be on the decline with all those horrible videos that you see like on Live Leak and Facebook when they allow it and to see what could happen to you.
Well, now that they're legalizing marijuana.
No, I'm talking about this other crap.
Heroin.
Yeah, you would think that would scare the hell out of people. You know,
it's the addiction that keeps you coming.
Yeah, I can't believe that people are still getting addicted to heroin. And
did you ever see I'm sure you have. They have the mug shots of people that get locked up for meth
for over years
of time. The progression.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And this one girl,
woman,
her face looked like
she was a skull,
like a plastic bag melted on her face. It's like she had no chin, and it was just
she looked like a skull,
like she was melting.
No, she was like all doughy. She looked like Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs.
Oh yeah,
it was horrible. It was just like you see these pictures and everything, and you think that people maybe I'm not going to do that.
There was one of a woman that actually it spans like 10 years. And in the first picture, she actually looks like she was kind of cute.
Bangable?
Yeah. Well,
some of these people were very attractive, men and the women.
And then by the end of it, she looked like she was, she was dead by 38. Ooh. But in answer to your
query,
not a query, but your statement, how do people get? Most of them start off because back pain. Doctor gives them Percocets, oxycodone, whatever. That's how they get started. And I think they should get rid of opioids, really, because if a lot of addicts are starting that way.
So what if they decided instead of using opioids for pain,
morphine?
That is an opiate.
That's the same thing.
That's the king of opiates. That's the king.
What if they started using marijuana, where it would take the pain away, but it wasn't as addictive as, that?
Look, I'm okay with the legalization of marijuana as long as, they treat it as like they treat alcohol.
Right.
You're not allowed to be out driving around smoking a joint.
Right.
And,
I agree with that.
You can, keep it in your house, keep it in the family, as they say, or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But, the problem I have with marijuana is that it made me stupid and lazy.
Okay.
And now maybe it doesn't do that to me. Well, I have to point out in Colorado, they got a big problem now with a lot of people. It's like, their unemployment rate's going up. It's not because people can't find jobs, because they don't want to have jobs.
So you really think that marijuana is doing it's?
I think it does a lot to demotivate people.
Well, I think that maybe it's this. Okay, now it's legal. So everybody's like, hey, it's like when you turn 21 and you can first legally drink, there's those first 3 years where you're like.
Yeah, you go ape shit.
So maybe in about 3 years, they'll calm down and just use it recreationally.
Oh, yeah.
You think maybe?
I think most people do, but I think, look, I know a couple guys that they've been pedal to the metal since high school. They're still going at it, man.
Still.
Yeah. And a couple of these guys, their brains are like gone. It's like you're talking to them. It's like talking to a cloud. You know what I mean?
I've never smoked a joint in my life, and sometimes I think my brain's like.
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, we had our nights, boy.
Yes.
But to me, it's like hanging out at the mall. After you reach a certain age, you just don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you a story, not about a man named Jed. So
I'm living in his head rent free.
Yes, you are. Always. So I come back from Atlanta, okay, and all the way down, it's nothing to do. So you're eating potato chips and pretzels and chocolate and drinking soda and
so you're living the life.
I'm living the life.
Look
man.
at you.
Because I have, I don't eat that stuff that much anymore. Hardly at all. I haven't had potato chips and pretzels and
Oreos.
Once. Well, I had. How long ago was that? I mean, I'm still getting. I haven't eaten Oreo cookies since the last 6 bags.
Swear to God.
Yeah,
I believe.
So, anyhow,
he's doing Chips Ahoy now.
And then when we got down to Atlanta, we had pizza and they made lasagna and all this stuff and had cake and all this. I come back. I get up Tuesday morning. I put my foot on the ground and my right toe was on fire.
Uh-oh.
I was like, damn.
You got the gout.
I got the gout.
You and Joe can hang out together.
Joe's smiling.
He's all happy now, yeah.
John's got
I want to hear
because misery loves company.
Because no, because see, you might not have the gout. I'm waiting to hear more about this.
Okay.
I'll tell you if you have the gout.
Okay, I don't think I have the gout because the gout's gone.
Okay.
So, but I'll tell you what, if the gout is even close to what that was for 2 days, I never want the gout again. I'm looking on the internet. What do you do about the gout? They're like, don't eat this, don't eat that. And I'm like, well, that's too late. Now what do I do?
Curl up and die. Yeah. Basically is what it tells
you might have had a mild attack, okay, because a mild attack will last a couple of days. It feels like you kicked something real hard with your
Exactly.
toe.
That's
okay?
exactly
That's
what
a mild one, okay? A bad attack, it's more like somebody just held your leg up to a wood chipper and then pulled it back out.
My cousin Greg has it, too.
Oh, yeah.
And he says it's so bad that he was thinking about pulling the 45 out of the nightstand and just shooting his toe right
that's
off.
What I felt
I'll
like.
never walk
My
again.
first big attack, that's what I felt like somebody came.
You can't walk without your big toe.
That's ridiculous.
You had to get a special. You can't.
You can't walk without your big toe?
Because the way the foot is
can.
engineered.
You can't walk normally without a big toe. You just
I can't work normally with a big toe.
I can't walk normal. But I'm going to say about the gout what my father used to say about hemorrhoids. You ever hear these guys, they say, I think I had hemorrhoids. Well, no. There's no thinking you had hemorrhoids. You know when you have hemorrhoids.
That's true.
And you know when you have the gout. When you get the gout, you're going to know it. It's not going to be,
There was a customer in Genghis's store. He had a triple bypass operation. He had his gallbladder removed back in the 70s. And back then, they used to lay you open like a side of veal. You got the incision like this.
Right.
Like a big V cut. And he had the hemorrhoid operation. Guess which one was the worst?
The hemorrhoids?
And Genghis said, yeah, well, think about it. That's something you're going to be using in a couple of hours. It's not like you broke your foot. You just stay off of it for a month. You're going to be using that real soon.
Well, Genghis had the operation, so he put a lot of thought into his
He had it in 73. Yeah. I remember that.
He thought, when you think about it, your ass is the center of your being.
Yeah, everything's attached to your asshole.
Right.
It's
You sneeze, your asshole hurts.
Your brain does not run, your spinal cord does not run down from your brain. It runs down to your ass. Because
and then radiates from that point.
Sure does.
It's like he said, it's the center. I said, without your ass, you're nothing. You can break an arm, still function. Break a leg, still function,
Your shitter ain't working.
Yeah.
You got problems.
You're done.
Yeah.
So
if you can't get anything out
well, not only that, you have to worry about the infection. I mean, think about it. Oh. What's the most vile substance that you could be passing over a wound?
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
A lot of bacteria.
It's like if you're going to have that operation, to me, I think you would probably have to fast for a month and just drink water and eat chicken broth.
Yeah.
And then do the colonoscopy, drink that stuff, and just be clean as a whistle. All right, cut me. I'm not taking any chances. Sure, you'll lose about 70 or 80 pounds, but, it's a win-win.
2 birds with 1 stone.
There you go. So, I'll tell you what, though. That hurt like a mofo.
Yeah.
I mean...
What you do, take Advil for it?
I can't take any of that stuff.
Oh, you can't? Why not?
No, because I got that stupid blood clotting thing, and I'm on blood thinners.
You're on Coumadin.
Yeah, I can't take
you got
any
a
of that
minefield. See, with me, I can't take ibuprofen because if I take too much of that, it works. It's the only thing that really works in reducing the swelling. If I take too much of that, then it inflames the intestines for me.
Ugh.
So, yeah, it's like a minefield. No matter where I walk, that's like I said earlier. Every step you take, you're stepping in shit.
Exactly. So I figured you guys would get. You should see Joe's face. He lit up.
Joe loves misery. Just like,
I always love to hear somebody's first experience with the gout because it's always an interesting story.
Yeah. So I came down. I must have drank a gallon of water that day.
Yeah.
And I just kept flushing. And
Flush it.
Beer's good for that.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I read up on everything. It's
in fact, it's of all things you can take, beer is probably the worst.
Yeah,
beer's good for everything. Don't you ever disparage beer.
I'm just telling you.
Oh man, you don't know how much I'd like to have a beer.
I want.
No,
I can't.
So, listen, you want a beer? No, I don't. If I want a beer, I might as well just walk over and kick that solid iron pipe with my big toe.
That Molly column over there holding
right?
I thought about you when I saw this next picture because during that whole...
This guy's my hero.
When everybody was running because while the 8 minutes were going on and they were the police were trying to get there to neutralize the problem. The guy's like running down the street. He's got a half a pint. He took his beer with
him.
him.
Hand. He took his beer. Yeah,
that's right. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to have a drink in my hand.
That might be the last one he gets.
Yeah. Well, he had his wits about him.
Yeah. You want me to read that?
Sure, go ahead.
An image of people fleeing the terrorist attack near London Bridge on Saturday night is being widely shared online. The image, which was a screenshot of Sky News footage, shows people running from the event, including a man caught who is carefully keeping hold of his beer. People are relating to the image as a quaint bit of normality on an otherwise awful day. And if you see this picture, you got to check it out. You can see that he's got his left hand extended in case he should bump into somebody because he's looking, he doesn't have his eyes on path. He's got his eyes on the beer so it doesn't so
it doesn't spill
over it. And I applaud this gentleman. You know, that's talking about a stiff upper lip that the British are famous for. That's the way to do it.
Guy.
That a boy. That a boy. All right. This next story. Man suing Grindr after 1,100 strangers show up to his house and workplace for sex. Over the past 5 months, Matthew says 1,100 men have showed up at his home.
At once?
No. Over the past 5 months.
You see a big teeming mob out there.
Hello.
Matthew is suing Grindr, the popular dating app for gay and bisexual men, because of it. According to the complainant, he's a victim of an elaborate revenge scheme that played out on Grindr when an ex-boyfriend who says he met this guy on Grindr has allegedly been creating fake accounts since October of 2016. The accounts have Matthew's photo, his personal details, including some falsehoods, like claim that he has HIV. He's got the HIV. His ex allegedly invites men to Matthew's apartment and a restaurant where he works, and sometimes as many as 16 strangers each day will show up looking for Matthew. In some instances, they are told not to be dissuaded. If Matthew is resistant at first, it's all part of an agreed-upon rape fantasy or role play. I'll tell you what, this ex is evil.
Yeah.
This dude is evil.
The guy'd be dead. I mean, you know.
I wonder what the laws are in England regarding that.
Well, again, what are you? It's the same thing with Facebook.
Yeah, why would he
go
after,
responsible for?
Yeah, but what's he going after Grindr for? It seems to me that the ex-boyfriend is the guy you want to go after, right?
Well, the ex-boyfriend, I guess the ex-boyfriend doesn't have any cash. Grindr.
Therefore, he gets no gash.
He gets no gash.
Yeah, right. Well, therefore, he gets baseball bats.
Right. The case,
that was a joke. I don't want anybody, you know.
Well, I was thinking about baseball bats to the backside. That's what I was thinking. The case raises an important question in social media age about the impersonation, stalking, and harassment. So we talked about this before. You know, who's responsible for this nonsense? Is it really Grindr? Is it Facebook? Or is it the people using the tools?
Well, I think it would be a two-part solution. Originally it would start with the ex.
Right.
But once Matthew notifies Grindr that this is in fact happening, and they've been notified by it, then I think the culpability would fall on Grindr.
But Grindr's like, they don't even know how to search for the pictures or anything. They have no idea on how to find.
There's got to be a way. They got to have an IP server address and
or even a name. Even some kind of.
I'm sure that this guy, I mean, I don't know if it goes into the story here, but I would assume that he notified Grindr and said, yo, this is not cool and knock it off. Help me with this situation.
Yeah, they're alleging product liability, fraud, and deceptive business practices according to an amended complaint filed on March 31st.
What do you mean? I mean, it seems to me like Grindr's really coming through on this deal. 1,600 men showed up.
If you're a gay dude taking it in the...
If I were Grindr, I'd get that PR rolling. Hey, we got one guy, 1,600
men. Yeah. I mean, exactly.
Where did this story happen at?
Well, they said it's in New York, but I thought it was over in England at first.
Sounds like oh, yeah, it is in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, I got that impression also.
Yeah.
All right, that's why I'm double checking. I'm like, where the hell did this happen at?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure there's got to be some culpability on the part of Grindr. I mean, if this has been going on for so long.
Well, I guess in any kind of dating app, let's say, I don't know. Let's say I got pissed off at a girl that I dated from.
Who, you?
Yes. I don't know. Any dating app of choice. All right. Let's say Tinder. Okay, let's say I got mad at this girl that I dated on Tinder. I dated her for a little while, and I know enough about her, and I know her profile pictures on Facebook and all that. I can go steal some pictures, make an account, talk to these people, and send them to her house.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to catch you? Or
I've often wondered, and maybe you can do this. You would know more so than me. That why isn't there some kind of technology that any picture that you post, say on Facebook of yourself, somebody else is not able to like copy and paste that picture and steal that? Isn't there some kind of code that you would think that they could?
You can go
encrypt onto that picture.
You can copyright it.
Hey, listen, when I made that meme about Joe, I went to his Facebook profile. Mm-hmm. He was dressed as the Joker. I downloaded his picture.
Yeah. Took a Chewbacca sound effect?
Yeah. Right. And I took that and, the audio, and I made up a meme,
mm-hmm.
The thing for social media. Yeah, you can go in and get any of that.
You would think, but you know what I'm saying? You would think that like you could download an app on your computer, your smartphone, whatever, run a photo through it, and it encrypts it in a way that nobody can take that photo from you.
No. Because if man can make it, man can break it.
I said there is
if a guy makes it, a guy can hack it.
If anyone comes up with that, yeah. I mean, they'll make a fortune.
I said you can do like photographers and just copyright all your shit before you post it, and then anybody takes it.
Like Shutterstock, you'll always see those. Like you go to Google Images,
right?
Like, I need a really cool image of like when I'm doing the artwork, so I'll punch in whatever the item is I need.
Yeah, you got.
That one's perfect. And then, like you see, it's got all the lines through it. The logo's all impressed.
Sure, it's perfect for $14.95.
Right, so it's
definitely perfect.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, well, that's not going to happen.
So yeah, if you're gay, go to Grindr. They get some action.
I say.
Well, again, it's the same
Grindr,
thing.
They're delivering, baby.
Well, it's the same thing on dating apps. I mean, a woman probably gets more action, or more responses from a dating app than a guy does. You would think. I'm sure they're.
Not necessarily.
No?
When I went on Match.com, and it was like, you're filling out the application and everything. Well, they actually have an
application. Ugh.
Yeah, you got to fill out there. What are you into? Well, I wouldn't know what you call it. The application, whatever.
Profile.
Yeah,
profile, whatever. Seemed like an application. But anyway, at one point they ask you,
do you like your nuts tickled? Yeah.
Yeah, right. But they ask you, what's your annual salary?
Finger in the
ass?
ass?
I thought, so just for shits and giggles, I put, they have different ranges. For shits and giggles, I put over $250,000 a year.
I bet you were very popular.
I came home that day. I checked my email. I had 32 emails from beautiful women. Hey, we should. And then I did the Waverly thing. I could pull this off. You know? But I think after a while they quickly catch on.
I hit the wrong decimal point. I'm actually 2,500 a year.
It's like,
all those emails go away.
But then I was like, if you got the right stuff going on, you got the right stuff going on your profile, you'll get a lot of hits, But
I guess. Yeah, I understand.
Usually cash, show all that bling.
All right, so...
And the hits just keep on coming.
All right, so it's been a couple weeks. The grass is real high. And you haven't had a chance to get out there and cut the grass. And it's, it's going to rain later on that day, it seems. So you go out, you start your lawnmower, and you look over your shoulder, and there's a huge tornado in the field behind you. What do?
Cut the grass.
Keep cutting, baby.
You two bullshit.
No, I would.
Well, I thought it was rhetorical. That's what this guy did.
Oh, yeah. He kept cutting the grass. See
the only thing he needed to make that picture better was a pint of beer in his hand as he's pushing that lawnmower. And it would have been perfect.
I got to be honest. The tornado's there. You can see it. Yeah. It's lightning that you got to fucking worry.
And he's grasping a lightning rod.
Yeah, he's holding on to a big metal vibrating.
Perfectly grounded to the...
I can see the tornado coming, lightning.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, if it's me and I look back, if I'm cutting the grass, I turn around and see that tornado, it's...
Get in the basement.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I don't even like that idea of the basement. Like, if I can see it and I can outrun it, get in the car and outrun it.
You can outrun the wind now.
In a car.
You at how much?
In a car. In a car. Not me. I couldn't outrun a breeze. What are you kidding me?
A tornado can be very fast. They can sometimes
35, 40 mile an hour. Let's say it goes to 50.
They can go faster.
They can whip faster than that. You ever see?
They go. You think?
Plus, it's not just the vortex of the tornado itself. There's a surrounding cone of influence.
Get on Google. Look up the Andover tornado overpass video.
Yeah, it's what he said.
Two guys. They were newscasters. They were covering a story. Tornado was coming up behind, and one guy's videoing it. And all you'll hear is the one guy talking, yo, you got to go faster, man. You got to go faster, man. You got to move, man. He was catching them. So they were able to get under a highway overpass, get everybody up underneath the bridge. Tornado passed over. It's really.
I did see that video.
Yeah.
But I still think you could outrun a tornado. I don't know. Whatever.
Some of them.
I think I could outrun it in a car. I think. A car goes 80, 90 mile an hour.
So tornadoes can move quickly.
Lie in a ditch. It'll pass you by eventually and everything's good.
Yeah, everybody else, me, would pick me up and throw me like a dog turd.
Not if you're in a ditch.
You think what's the ditch? What do you think? It just goes
pass over you.
Goes right over you? Doesn't go all the way to the ground? Okay.
No.
How far up off the ground? You think maybe 2 feet?
Let me amend this by saying a ditch is your best bet. It's not.
I think your best bet is in 2 towns over, but go ahead.
Yeah, you can't make that choice.
Yeah. A basement is probably your best bet in the house, only because you're underground. The house gets blown over or whatever. You're down here. Your best bet in this place, just anchor yourself to one of these support beams. They're bolted in the concrete, right?
I'll tell you what. If we ever have a tornado over here, the first thing I'm going to do is get close to that toilet, because after it goes over, I have to go in there and wipe my ass. Because I'm going to shit myself, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen a tornado up close. And
no,
I hope I
never do.
Not like this guy, anyway.
No,
he's a cow man.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's mowing his lawn.
All right,
last story.
Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, up in Canada. All right, last story of the night. Now this one, I don't even know what to do anymore about this stuff. Millie Hernandez is an 8-year-old. Millie plays soccer for Omaha's girls club team. She's so good that she actually plays on the 11-year-old roster, even though she's 8. Her father's very proud of her. So they're in a poker tournament. They're in a soccer tournament.
Wow.
That's
no wonder she was disqualified. Underage.
And who's her father anyway? Jeez.
They come out and they say they disqualified the whole team because she looks like a boy, and they think she's a boy. So the parents are like in shock. They say, listen, she's not a boy. Here's her medical card. It says she's a female. Nope, sorry. Looks like a boy. That's it. And they disqualified the whole team. Now, I call bullshit on this whole thing because I just think it's like one of those team politics or one of these other.
Yeah.
Well, this happened. This is reminiscent of another story. I forget where. It's quite a while ago. There was a boy posing as a girl on a little league, I think, baseball team, and they wound up going pretty far, like into the playoffs, almost to the championship, and then it all became unraveled.
right?
Because it was deception.
Somebody saw him taking a piss.
It was I don't know how to, but it was deception. I think that's where this may have. It might be some kind of.
But this is a girl though, and don't get me wrong, she's 8 years old, and she's got a short boy's haircut,
right?
And she looks like a boy because she's 8 years old.
She does look like a boy, but
all right. But so then again, in this world we live in, with all the he, she, they, trans this, trans that, I think that if she said that she was a trans, if she was a boy and said she was a trans, she would have had a better.
She identifies as a girl.
Yeah, she identifies as a girl. She would have had a better shot at playing in the damn game.
Yeah,
it's like that girl wrestler that was in Texas and she was transing into a boy. So then she had hormones and everything.
Wasn't
so
the other way around? It was a boy transitioning into a woman and then she was kicking everyone's ass because she's a dude.
No, that was that MMA fighter. Yeah.
This was in high school.
High school wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that was a dude transitioning into a girl.
Yeah. Well, there is in the MMA world. There's a man who identifies as a woman, so now he's fighting women. Well, naturally, he's beating the shit out of them, and he's not just beating them. I mean, he's breaking their jaws and everything. And he's she is,
it is
the great, right? Being celebrated for this. But to me, it's a cheat. I mean, it's not right at all. This guy's got and it is a guy. I don't give a shit what he identifies. When he's in the ring beating up on women, he's a guy.
Sure he is.
There's a whole physiological thing going on where he's just got the advantage.
Exactly.
And
there was another issue with Little League.
There's always an issue.
This all started back when I was 12 years old, when they first let girls play hardball instead of playing softball.
That's because of that goddamn Bad News Bears with.
It was before
Walter Matthau.
It was before. This was before that.
Tatum O'Neal.
It's a good movie, by the way. I like that movie.
And they brought the girls in, and they were supposed to play with the guys, and then they got special dispensation because they were girls, and that's when it all started. Now, if you're good enough to come in and play with the guys, that's one thing. When I was a senior in high school, there was a girl that was in our. Well, she went to the Catholic school, but she was my age, and she played basketball. And this girl could play basketball. She could play with any of the guys. I mean, she was really, really good. And she would go and she would hang and run with the guys and stuff like that. And she probably, if was allowed and didn't have any help or special dispensation or anything like that, she could have made the guys' basketball team. She was that good. I mean, she was phenomenal on the girls' basketball team, all state. But, she would have made the guys' basketball team. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you're a girl and you want to play at that kind of competition, that's fine. But you have to play at that kind of competition. You don't get any special rules. There's no special, like when you're playing golf, there's the ladies' tees and stuff like that. Right. You hit from the guys' tees. That's that. I mean, it's nonsense. Same thing in the World Series of Poker this year. They always have the women's, the women's only tournament. And I find that really sexist because women can play in any tournament they want to play in.
So imagine the uproar would be if there was a men's only tournament.
There should be.
But there won't be.
I understand that.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine the uproar.
Right. Well, guys did. I guess it was a couple of years ago. They decided to go in and dress as women and sign up.
Like that old Bud Light commercial with the pool tournament. You mean you're the Bud Light? Yes, I am. Yeah. You mean you're Dr. Lipowitz or whatever the guy's name?
Yes, I am.
So I haven't looked this year, but maybe they stopped the women's tournament. But in a game like poker, there are women that are phenomenal at the game of poker.
Oh.
They could outplay any guy.
Yeah, but poker's not a sport in the sense that
it's an activity.
No.
It's a game.
It's not physical.
It's right because men are physically stronger. I mean, Ben Shapiro does a brilliant piece on this back in the past on like how it's like nonsense. There was a TV show on, I forget what it was called, and it was like the premise was a woman that's going to play in Major League Baseball, and here they are, they're coming to get you,
coming to take you away.
and he enumerated in the whole piece that like the best women's baseball player will throw a fastball at about 78 miles an hour. That's it. And because women don't have the upper arm strength, they just don't have the physiology that a man does to throw a 100 mile or close to a 100 mile per hour fastball. A 78 mile per hour fastball, you won't even make the bench in a AAA.
They throw faster pitches at batting practice.
Right. So it's a lot of these. that's why they have the women's tees in golf. They have because they don't have the. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't women out there that could beat the pants off of me in any sport that because there are.
Not in a professional.
But if you're going to match a professional woman against a professional football player, basketball player, whatever, the men are generally going to outperform you. So the women's poker thing, that's like.
Right. It's not the same.
That's an even playing field as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with you.
As far as women poker players, remember when Mom used to have, my mother used to have poker games at her house.
Okay.
There was a whole bunch of them that played. Well, my Uncle Carmen, he liked to play poker too. He figured he was going to get in on this game and, didn't work out well for him.
No.
These women were sharks. I mean, they were good.
It was amazing. I'll tell you, the funniest, every once in a while, I'll go over there's a casino right over across the river in Chester. And I'll
Camden Sister City.
And I'll go over there and I'll play on a Friday night or whatever. Just go over there and kick around and just play some poker. So I get there the one night and I missed the tournament. So I figured I would play in the one game. And it's a small stakes, low stakes game. So I'm in there and there's this old lady. And she reminded me of the grandmother on the Golden Girls, Sophia.
Estelle Getty.
Yeah, it looks like Estelle Getty. But she was older. And she sat there and she had her purse on her pocket. She had her purse sitting right on her lap. And she's sitting there playing poker. And she never folded. And you're sitting there playing. So then you get a big hand, you get it straight, and you're like, okay, well, finally, I'm going to take some money off this old bitch. And so I'm sitting there, and at the end, whatever card she needed at the very end, she would get, and she'd beat you, right? So
she's charmed.
Yeah,
she got it.
One time, we get to the end, and so usually in the game, because I've lost probably like $40 to this lady by now. So we get to this thing, and I think I had like a full house. So we get to the end, and she raises, I bet, and she raises me. So when she raises, she usually wins the hand. So with that, I go, raise, and with that, she takes her pocketbook, because she's to the left of me. She leans over and scowls at me.
Yeah.
And then she looks, and she's sitting there thinking, and she's thinking, and she throws her money in. And I had the nuts. I had the best hand you could have, with the board and everything. So I turned it over, and they pushed the money over there. And here, this is all here. And I was like, yes.
Did you scoff at her?
No, but I'm just saying, I probably won $10 out of the 40.
Yeah, she's been winning all night long. You win one time, and you're feeling superior.
You're doing a Homer Simpson
in
your face.
Exactly. I'm doing a dance. I'm doing the victory dance, and this old lady's there. But yeah, again, something like that. Women can match up with guys or play. Same thing with chess. Any kind of mental games like that. Cards, anything like that. Women can be on the same playing field. Mm-hmm. But, I think it's just, to be honest with you, I just think it's...
there's some sports that they could probably compete, like, let's say, ping pong.
Right.
Things like that.
I don't know about ping pong. Maybe.
No, I'm saying men and women could probably play each other. I don't think there would necessarily need to be a separate...
All right, so what do you think? Pool.
Oh, women can play with pool.
They can play as good as guys?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see some pretty good pool players.
What about bowling?
Yeah, I think
so?
Don't know because I don't care.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what they would be able.
I think anything that involves, I guess, more or less lung capacity and muscle exertion, I think men would always have the slight edge.
Okay. I don't know. I think that if I was there and that was my daughter and they said they disqualified the whole team because she looks like a guy, I think that would have went over.
Well, that's just wrong.
I don't think that would have went over too well.
No. You would think they would have some kind of doctor there in those instances.
Yeah, but then again, does she really have to go? I mean, come on. How embarrassing.
Well, because evidently they have rules for reasons.
Hey, for all you know, maybe it is a boy. No one knows.
She does look rather boyish.
She does look like a boy.
And the way,
but at that age,
and let's face it, these days, you know how parents are about winning.
So
that's exactly what I forget the kid. I'll have to look it up, but it was about 15. I still owned my store. It was quite a while ago, and there was a boy posing as a girl on a little league team, and they got caught, and they disqualified the whole team.
How about that? Now,
so that's probably what this ruling that they have on the rule book is responding to rather.
So the Springfield Soccer Club organizers declined for comment and directed any inquiries to their attorney. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're right. Maybe she actually is a boy. Maybe they know more than they know. They said the organizer said that if she wants to challenge the disqualification, they can appeal it in the Nebraska State Soccer Association. Maybe she's a boy.
Well, there's parents out there that are absolute lunatics.
Oh, I know.
About their kids winning a trophy.
I hear you.
Anyone that refs a game will tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
And the soccer, when Wise was playing soccer, he played 3 years in Little League. And then he decided he wanted to move to soccer. And then he played 2 fall soccers in one. So he played a fall, a spring, and then a fall. The soccer parents are worse.
Oh, yeah.
Worse. I mean, I had no idea. I thought it was like, you always hear about, soccer.
In your town, the Little League team, they stacked the deck so that all the really good kids.
Yeah. So, that's my kid, as young as he was astute enough to pick that up on. And that's what ruined him wanting to play Little League because of that.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Politics got it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because they would have like these powerhouse teams. Says, we're going to have playoffs, or tryouts. That's what we always had. You had tryouts. And they said, this way that won't happen. It was the same teams all over again. Yeah, mysteriously, all the coaches' kids who were like demons, they're like.
I always liked it. To me, the schoolyard draft pick works best.
I agree with that too.
Go right through.
All right, why don't we move into this? Last Thursday, did you get a chance to listen to us over at Radio Vegas Rocks?
No, I was working that day.
I tuned in. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of neat to hear us.
Yeah.
On an internet streaming radio station. So if you want to check us out, we're not.
This Thursday I will be able to because I am off.
We are at Radio Vegas Rocks.
We're getting bigger, baby.
Thursday, 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific time, and that is 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Look at you. You're a
big
boy now.
Me. I am a big boy now. We're in Vegas. All right. Want to do some podcast shout-outs?
Absolutely. Okay, please tune into these other podcasters who put out a quality podcast, and they're really swell people as well. And we would start off with 3 is Comedy with Jason, Bob, and Mindy.
All right, and Bad Cop with Jerry and Dave. Now, the thing about Bad Cop, I kind of breeze over them because
they are awesome.
That is by far my favorite podcast. Like when Bad Cop show comes out and it hits my podcast catcher,
stop everything.
I stop everything.
All work stops.
Listen to the whole show.
I missed it, because they were when Jerry was away on vacation.
Yeah, and they didn't put a show out.
And you're always like psyched to go, Jerry's on vacation.
I can't make a guess. So
not going to be able to hear it.
And the other thing is too, and the great thing about Jerry, the show Bad Cop, and because I don't say it's competition, but those guys are funny and they make me want to be on top of my game. They want me to, I want to try to be as funny as those guys are. So I just really, really enjoy the show.
Did you see Dave's Facebook post about the woman that came up when he was mixing the sound at the club?
Yeah, like a soccer mom.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
so it's a band mom.
So he turned everyone else's sound down.
Dave is a sound guy, works at a club.
It's brilliant.
And usually, I guess I don't know how he doesn't
punch people in the face.
Exactly. I don't know how he just doesn't punch more people in the face. So the lady's like, "You got to turn up the vocals. You got to turn up the vocals." No, I don't. I just turned the band down.
And he knew it. If you read his post, like about 15, 20 seconds in, he sees what needs to be done. He's a professional.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So before he even had a chance to do what he needed to do, what he knew what needed to be done, here comes this bitch marching up to him, breaking his balls. So he turned everyone else's sound down.
Yeah. Second, okay, I did sound for Glenn's band briefly. And another thing is when somebody tells you to turn something down, you don't. You do not abruptly turn the sound down because you need to be, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of a ramping effect you got to do. And so, yeah, come on, turn it down. What are you doing?
Yeah, so anyhow, the band mom came over and
he handled it.
He handled it like a rock star. He handled it. So, yes, check out Bad Cop, one of the funniest podcasts that I've listened to. And it's hard. You would think with all the podcasts that are out there to find a funny podcast, you think you wouldn't be able to, swing a dead cat without hitting a funny podcast. And I'll be honest with you, that's not the case, to be honest with you. All right, next one.
Bold and Belligerent with Lauren, Josh, Mike, and Dumbass Luke. You just left that in there, huh? You can't help yourself.
Can't help myself. No show from them this week either.
Well, they generally run about 8 to 9 days, I think.
Well, they record on either a Friday night or sometimes they've done it on Sunday, and nothing this week that I saw. Anyhow, I don't know. Part of the Hush Your Face Network, the Tavern Podcast with Rockstar, BB Byerly, and King Brandon.
Who's Right with Doug and Anthony.
Now, these two.
Yeah, they're due for a new show.
Yeah, well, Doug,
come out any day.
I've been talking to Doug. You know,
They're from Massachusetts, I think.
I think he's from Illinois, to be quite honest with you.
Well, based on the number that they have, I looked up the area code and it said Massachusetts.
Oh, really? Oh, again, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where it's
Maybe
from.
I'm in error.
But we've been talking, and you know me, like I said to them, I said, if you're going to listen to them at 1.25 and 1.5 speed. Well, apparently, Doug is taking offense to that, and he's going to address that on his next podcast.
You with helpful advice.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to spread the love, trying to make podcasting better.
Does it ever occur to you that things you might say
is the truth?
No, might rub people the wrong way.
I understand that.
Clearly, you don't give a fuck.
No, I don't.
Truth hurts.
I don't. I care about podcasting, and here's the other thing. That, if you're going to have and the thing that I love about the Who's Right is they're funny. They have a funny show. It's a good show. And I just want them to sound better so that
I like their pace.
What pace?
I like that pace.
Stop it. You don't like.
Yes,
see, you're just being.
I like the show.
I like the show too.
I like it better than you.
Okay.
I win.
All right, you win. Anyhow, check out Who's Right. They got a new website. They're doing it, man. They're coming along. New podcast in there. It's fun to watch them come up and grow. It's a lot of fun.
Another of the Hush Your Face network is the Horribly Awkward with Sean Fuller.
And now that I'm older with Shane and Kenny, and I was in Atlanta where Shane and Kenny are from, and Shane found out I was going to be in Atlanta, and he quickly took a trip to Puerto Rico for the week. So,
sure, you're going to probably thought you were going to give him helpful advice.
Yeah, of course. Oh, Jesus Christ! Here comes that asshole, John. Probably tell me what to do. Let's get out of here. Let's go to Puerto Rico for the week.
Toe on the Trigger with Daniel and
Courtney 3000.
Courtney 3000, who is his co-host.
Mm-hmm. We got to change that on there because we have guest host of the week. It looks like Courtney 3000 is here to stay. Mm-hmm. And Daniel was here earlier in the chat.
Yeah, hanging
with us. We appreciate that.
Whereas Leah says, that's right, I'm important. So make sure,
That's right.
Yes, you are, Daniel.
Ice in the Face with Sarah and Rick. Another good show.
The Story Behind with Emily Prokop. She hangs out with us quite often on Facebook as well.
Yeah, we're her guilty pleasure. The Unwritable Rant with the lovely Juliet Miranda. Her podcast this week was hysterical. I mean, it just explains so much. Mm-hmm. It's like we went back to a very young 10-year-old or 10 or 8-year-old Juliet Miranda and her first boyfriend and kickball, and you just got to go listen to that episode. It's hysterical.
The Pat and Miller Show with Matt Miller and Viva La Pedros.
Viva La Pedros.
You still have Via in there.
I didn't change it. You're right. I didn't change it. And you'll point that out until I do change it.
Yeah, you won't pull the soundbite where you said, I'm right.
Oh, I'll pull that.
You're right. I'll never hear that soundbite. You're right.
Exactly. The Nerd or Wells podcast with Eric, Sam, and Chris. I'm behind on those guys. I want to try to check them out and see what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm way so far behind.
So far behind.
Hey, help if I scroll up the Horrible Gamers podcast.
All right. And then the Epic Film Guys with Nick.
Everyone Has a Podcast with Adam and Byron.
And the Naked Porch podcast with Ray, Danielle, and Chris. Last time I rushed my words, and it sounded like I said Ray, Daniel, and Chris. It's Ray, Danielle, and Chris.
And our good buddies up the Turnpike, Rob and Slim Show, our brothers up the Turnpike, as we just read. And what I meant to say, they're also part of the Hush Your Face podcast network.
Last episode, Juliet Miranda was a guest on the show.
Yes, I got to listen to that.
It's good. And then
this week it just flew by.
And then they had this other chick on there. She was a
chick.
Yeah, she was a phone sex chick. And I didn't even know they had them anymore. I mean, geez.
No, there's still a bunch of...
you think there's still guys that
40, 50-something guys who got hooked on it when they were in their 20s,
You think they're still calling and spending all this money on phone sex?
Apparently so.
But there's so much more. I don't know. Whatever.
Go on, John. Tell us. You see so there's so much more.
Well, I mean, you can go... there's YouPorn and Pornhub and all the stuff.
I don't understand. If you go down 130 and you see all the the adult bookstores. I said, why would you? Why would they go?
Maybe because they don't want to be caught coming out of the adult bookstores.
Well, no. I mean, if you got the internet, why the hell would you even need to leave the house?
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense to me. But then again, what the hell do I know?
She, I can't remember her name, and she did this whole thing with Rob, like set up this whole scenario, and I don't know. Look, I had to turn it off. No,
you're a grimy little pimp.
Exactly. I had to bang that plus 30 about 5 or 6 times to get past it. But the rest of the show was fantastic. And again, if you're into that kind of thing, go check that out. But that was a little, I don't know, it gave me the heebie-jeebies, to be quite honest with you. I felt like I was, you know what it was? I felt like I was sitting there watching a 3-way. Yeah, I felt like I didn't belong there. That's what it was. No?
Couldn't just be a twosome, it had to be a 3-way.
Well, okay. I felt like I was watching somebody, like I was in the room.
So you were a cuck tied to a chair.
Did you pull the curtain across?
No, I was uneasy. I had an uneasy feeling. It didn't feel right. I felt dirty. I was ashamed.
I immediately showered.
I had to go take a shower afterwards. But Juliet came on, and she's I'd love to interview her. I don't know. Should we bring her on here? I mean, if we
bring
asked
anybody you like, but I'm just saying, I'm open for guests.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to.
I don't think Juliet needs to.
No, she doesn't. She would be doing us a favor.
Yeah,
if she came on the show. Exactly. But anyhow, all right. So that's it for this week. Come on back next week, and we'll have more stories, more fun.
Remember, we're taping earlier this week.
Oh yes, they won't know. We're doing it tonight, which is Monday, and then Friday night.
But anyone that's hanging in on Facebook Live.
Right. So we'll be doing Friday. What time?
I don't know. I'm a tree. I can bend. Some people are stumps. They don't bend at all.
You want to do like 7 o'clock Friday?
Sure.
Or 8 o'clock?
I was just about to say 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? Okay, 8 o'clock.
Ghostbusters.
So 8 o'clock Friday, we'll be recording again live, and that way it'll give us a little bit more time to get our show ready for Radio Vegas Rocks, because last time it was a fire drill. I was wondering if
a Chinese fire drill?
Well, I mean, I had to get the show done.
We taped on Tuesday and we had to have it to them by Wednesday night.
Right. But it didn't get there till Thursday. Because then I just got back from Atlanta, so I had all these other shows to do and everything, and I just couldn't get to it. It was a rather long show.
Yeah, it was a scramble.
So, yeah.
But we did it.
Check us out on Radio Vegas Rocks Thursday afternoon, 1 to 3 Pacific, 4 to 6 Eastern Standard, or Eastern Daylight Time.
Just say Eastern Time, Pacific Time.
There we go.
Don't dick around with whether it's Daylight Savings Time or not. I gave that up years ago for Lent.
All right. And then, I got a story. No, I told you that story already.
Okay.
All right. Anyhow, we'll be back next week with another episode of the Brand X Podcast.
Have a good one.
See you later.
Shut the fuck up so I can end the recording.
That's it. We're just getting into it.